Welcome to the Data Standards Body YouTube channel. This video discusses the candidate issues for Maintenance Iteration 22. The consultation for Maintenance Iteration 22, MI22, is captured in Decision Proposal 364, DP 364. The iteration candidates for the current iteration are displayed on the Data Standards Maintenance Project Board. The standards maintenance process facilitates the proposal of enhancements, corrections, or changes to the consumer data standards. This runs throughout the year, adjacent to the decision proposal consultations. To contribute to the maintenance iteration, request an invitation to the maintenance iteration call via contact@dsb.gov.au or sign up with the DSB calendar. MI calls are held every 2 weeks on a Wednesday. DP 364 provides the agendas and dates for upcoming maintenance iteration calls and the minutes for past calls. The MI22 consultation opened on 29th of January 2025. The first maintenance iteration call was on 5th of February 2025. MI22 candidate issues. MI22 includes a number of candidates for consideration. As well as general holistic feedback, there are issues in the categories Consumer Experience, CX, Security and Register, Banking, Energy, Non-Functional Requirements, NFRs. Additional issues may be included in MI22. Refer to DP 364 and the MI22 meeting minutes for the up-to-date list of candidate issues. Holistic feedback. In the holistic feedback category is issue 683, Maintenance Iteration 22, Holistic Feedback. Consumer Experience. In the CX category are issue 674, updates stemming from 2024 consent review changes, issue 684, CX Guidelines, ADI or NBL to hold CDR data as a DH. Security and Register. In the Security and Register category are issue 650, Weakened JARM Encryption Requirements for ADRs, issue 671, Remove Deprecated Register Scope Detail, issue 679, Update SSA Specification. This is also a register issue. Issue 682, Spec Alignment, OpenID Provider Configuration and Issuer Value. This is also a register issue. Banking. In the banking category are issue 553, Running Balance Available under Transaction Detail, issue 642, Update Guidance for Banking Account Rate Detail, issue 656, a status of posted should indicate the final update for a transaction, issue 678, New error code for product data requests where the data holder does not hold the required product, issue 681, Retirement date for Get Transaction Detail V1. Additional banking issues may be included in MI22. Energy. Issue 662, Extend Get Generic Plan Detail to include a new field, tariffCode. Issue 677, Energy Transaction Fields should be conditional. Issue 680, Jurisdiction Code of ISO. Additional energy issues may be included in MI22. NFRs. In the NFRs category is issue 660, Revise the Availability Requirements, NFRs. Summaries of candidate issues. The following issue descriptions are summaries. See the issue for full details. Holistic Feedback Candidate Issue. Issue 683, Maintenance Iteration 22, Holistic Feedback. Each maintenance iteration has a related holistic feedback issue for raising minor changes such as text corrections or description clarifications. Participants are invited to add suggestions as comments to this issue. Issue 683 captures holistic feedback for MI22. 2 minor changes are proposed, one in banking and one in energy. This is a non-breaking change. Consumer experience candidate issues. Issue 674 updates stemming from 2024 consent review changes. Issue 674 outlines the anticipated CX guidelines updates related to the 2024 consent review. Changes are expected in the following areas of the CX guidelines: collection and use consent, disclosure consents, amending consent, consent management, data recipient, new notifications, CDR receipts, new notifications, 90-day notifications. This issue has been carried over from MI21. Issue 684 CX Guidelines, ADI or NBL to hold CDR data as a DH. On November 12, 2024, the Australian Federal Treasury registered an amendment to the CDR rules. See the video description for details. Changes include requirements for managing CDR data collected by an authorized deposit-taking institution, ADI. To implement these requirements, Issue 684 proposes changes to the CX guidelines for collection and use consents. These changes may extend to the non-bank lending (NBL) sector. Security and register candidate issues. Issue 650 weaken JARM encryption requirements for ADRs. Issue 650 proposes removing the requirement for ADRs to support encryption of JARM responses. JARM encryption will then be optional for both ADRs and DHs. This issue has been carried over from MI21. Issue 671 remove deprecated register scope detail. The proposal is to remove details of the deprecated register scope CDR register bank read from the CDS admin and registration section. This is labelled as a documentation issue. Issue 679 update SSA specification. This is also a register issue. Some details of the CDS SSA specification are unclear and prevent ADRs from updating certain elements of their client registration. Issue 679 proposes changes to solve this problem, improve CDS clarity, and align with ecosystem expectations. Issue 679 also invites discussion regarding SSA fields to be provided during authorization and approval. See CDS Security Profile Software Statement Assertion SSA. Issue 682 Spec Alignment, OpenID Provider Configuration and Issue of Value. This is also a register issue. The issue of value in the register configuration does not align to the OpenID specification requirement. Issue 682 proposes options either to note the misalignment or to bring the issue of value of the register and the well-known location into alignment according to OIDC specifications. Banking candidate issues. Issue 553 running balance available under transaction detail. Issue 553 proposes adding a running balance field of type banking balance to the response banking transaction list schema. This issue has been carried over from MI21. Issue 642 update guidance for banking account rate detail. Issue 642 proposes editing the guidance to clarify that the rate array structure is always required, even when describing only a single rate. This ensures additional fields including calculation frequency, application frequency, repayment type, loan purpose, and additional value are always disclosed where applicable. Issue 656, a status of posted should indicate the final update for a transaction. Issue 656 proposes changes to the description of the banking transaction status field. The change documents the requirement that the status must be pending if the transaction is still in the process of authorization or may change. A transaction cannot change after its status is set to posted. This issue has been carried over from MI21. Issue 678. New error code for product data requests where the data holder does not hold the required product. In CDS error codes, there is no defined error response for scenarios where a data holder does not hold the product reference data being requested. Issue 678 proposes adding a new response to each product reference endpoint 404 not found, resource not required. The new 404 error code is to be described under CDS error codes. See CDS error codes. Issue 681. Retirement date for get transaction detail V1. Issue 681 proposes specifying the retirement date for get transaction detail V1 as 10th November 2025. Energy candidate issues. Issue 662. Extend get generic plan detail to include a new field, tariffCode. Issue 662 proposes extending the get generic plan detail endpoint to include a new field, tariffCode. This field contains the Distributed Network Service Provider (DNSP) defined tariff codes to which the retailer makes this plan available. This field contains the Distributed Network Service Provider DNSP defined tariff codes to which the retailer makes this plan available. Issue 677. Energy transaction fields should be conditional. The demand and other charges fields in Energy Billing Transaction V3 are currently marked as optional but should be conditional. Issue 677 proposes changing the descriptions of these fields to conditional. Issue 680, Jurisdiction Code of ISO. The payloads returned by AEMO for a service point jurisdiction code sometimes contain the value ISO, which is a violation of the schema. Issue 680 proposes adding ISO as a valid enum value to Energy Service Point jurisdiction code. The DSB seeks clarification on the meaning of the value ISO and ACCC's rules interpretation on appropriateness of including the enum value. NFRs candidate issues. Issue 660. Revise the availability requirements NFRs. Issue 660 proposes to make the availability requirements NFRs binding and applicable for planned and unplanned outages. The issue proposes to make the 99.5% uptime target a must for planned and unplanned outages. That concludes the list of candidate issues for MI22. At the time of writing, the Maintenance Iteration 22 schedule is 5th February 2025, kickoff and backlog review completed. 19th February 2025, consultation completed. 5th March 2025, consultation and new issue checkpoint. 19th March 2025, proposal checkpoint. 2nd April 2025, approvals and documentation. See the DSB calendar for the up-to-date MI22 timeline. For more detail, read DP 364 and the issues listed here. To provide feedback, comment on DP 364 or on the individual issue. Thank you for participating in developing the Consumer Data Standards.